Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? It sounds weird for me, but... What's that?
Tinny.
It's tinny.
I'll fix it up as you keep going.
He'll fix it up as I keep going. Thank you for having me. Quick show of hands. Who has no idea who I am? Raise your hands up, please. Hi. That hurts a little bit, but I figured that was going to be the case, so let me give you a little bit of context before we get into it, okay? So my name is Miles Stoke. I was born June 16th, 1991 in Newmarket, Ontario at South Lake. I got two older sisters. My dad, he was a firefighter at Newmarket, Aurora for 30 plus years. My mom was a preschool teacher in Aurora. And when I was around 3 years old, we moved to Queensville. And there was about 1,000 people that lived in Queensville at that time. And in my neighborhood, I had 5 other kids that were all around the same age. And it turned out to be the best childhood I could ever ask for, because it was obvious from a very, very young age that I just loved to compete. I loved competition. Anywhere I could find it, I would do it. You know, going to elementary school, before the bell rang, you had like 30 minutes. We'd find a game to play and compete. Recess, find a game to compete. Lunchtime, gym class. Come home from school, drop off the book bag, go meet up with those 5 other kids, and that's when the games were really on. Road hockey, baseball, football, games on the trampoline and the swimming pool. It started raining, go inside, play board games like Monopoly or Risk or James Bond 007, GoldenEye. Just loved to compete. That carried on into high school. I went to Newmarket High for the high performance athlete program. Now, I wasn't good enough at any one sport to kind of excel at that sport, but I was a good enough athlete that I could play any sport, so that's what I decided to do, and I ended up playing on 6 sport teams a year, grade 9, 10, 11, 12, lucky enough to win a junior athlete of the year, senior athlete of the year, and go into the Hall of Fame for the most athletic points ever by a student athlete. Again, just loving to compete. In that era too, that's when I started working. And I've always loved working. I was like 13, 14 years old, started at Fit City Health Club, doing the laundry, washing all the gym towels, cleaning the gym floor, cleaning the bathrooms. Then I became a camp counselor at NTR, on and off the ice. Then I got a great job at the car wash company on Leslie Street in Newmarket, washing cars after school and on weekends. Then I got my big break, and I got a job at Rec Cycle and Sports in Aurora, the old sports store on Yonge Street. Big pay bump too, got $12 an hour. And I was sharpening skates, fixing bikes, and learning how to sell retail on the floor, which was great. I loved that. Then I worked for a renovation company, didn't really have any skills, so I was the one responsible for like scraping stucco off the ceiling that's been painted 6 times over until my shoulders fell off. Then I worked for a pool company, again, no skills, so I was the only laborer. So my job would be like carry 1,000 patio stones from the driveway to the backyard. But I loved working always. And so I was competing all year round with the high school sports. I was working, making money. Life was good. But then high school came to an end, and honestly, I had no idea what I was doing next. All my friends, my peers, people around me, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were going to go to this college or university, take these classes, get this degree, have this career. They had it all figured out. Again, like I said, I wasn't good enough at any of those 1-6 sports to take it any further. And I had no idea what career I wanted, so I was lost and confused. Honestly, kind of a depressing time for 18-year-old Miles Stoke. But that all changed with one idea. I was hanging out at my Uncle Jack's house, hanging out with my cousins, as I often did at that time. And I was wearing a single hockey lace as my belt, to show people that I was a mediocre hockey player. And after my uncle chirped me for a couple minutes, he said something that I'll never forget. He said, "What if there was an actual belt made out of hockey laces?" And that's when kind of this light bulb went off. I drove home immediately, got my mom to pull out the sewing machine and teach me how to use it, then spent the next couple hours sewing hockey laces together, taking my belts, ripping them apart, putting them together, until I held in my hand an actual belt made out of hockey laces. That same night, I drove back to my uncle's house, and I showed him proudly, look, an actual belt made of hockey laces. And that night is when the original hockey lace belt was born. It was so exciting. We wrote up our contract, 50-50 partners, this is going to be the business. And it was in that moment I knew, it's like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. I had no idea what it was, but this is what I want to do. So the next couple of weeks, I went back to the bedroom and tried to perfect my samples, different colors, different sizes, different belt buckles. And my uncle went and found someone that could manufacture the product and make it real. He went and partnered up with Textile Hockey Laces, the oldest hockey lace manufacturer in North America. And we created the real original hockey lace belt. And we did a deal with them where they made the belt, they sold it to their distributors that they already sold their hockey laces to. Then the distributors sold it to the stores that they already sold to, and then the stores sold it to the customers that they had, and we collected a royalty. It was super exciting, and sales were starting to go good. I remember when I got my first royalty check, it was for $1,600. And I was like, I am so rich. And I was thinking to myself, do you know how many skates I have to sharpen or cars I have to wash to make $1,600? I was never going back. And as sales continued to grow, my uncle said, we should audition for this TV show. So we go down to this hotel pitch, and then we make it to the next round, and then we ended up pitching on Dragon's Den for the lace belt. We filmed in April, got a deal, another moment, our lives are changed forever, I'm buying a Mustang. But the truth was there was nothing for me to really do in the business. Like I said, the setup was we got it made, and then they sold it to distributors, and the distributors sold it to stores, and stores sold it to the customers. There was nothing for Miles to do. And the advice was, you don't know anything about business, so you need to go learn how to do business. So I enrolled in business marketing at St. Lawrence College that fall. Went into that semester back in the classroom. Didn't love it, but at least I was a part of a business. This episode aired that Christmas time. It was the holiday episode. Sales went up. I went back home after Christmas break. I said, listen, I've learned how to do business. I've done it for 4 months now. What else can we do? Again, Miles, there's nothing for you to do here. So after finally accepting that, I knew I needed to create something else. I wanted to have something of my own. And then I started to scheme up the idea of, okay, well, people love the belt made of hockey laces, but you can't see the laces unless your shirt's tucked in, or if you show someone, where could you see them all the time? On your feet. Let's make a flip-flop out of hockey laces. And I was working with my dad that summer, telling him about the idea, and he just stopped and he said, okay, I got the name. Summer Skates. I was like, okay, perfect. We got the idea, got the name. Now we need to make it real, so we always start with a really professional prototype, like this. Old hockey laces, old flip-flop, but now it's real. Now we're holding it real. Then I went back to my second year at school, and I sourced a manufacturer off of Alibaba from the hours of midnight to 3 a.m. going back and forth, found a hockey lace manufacturer, put them together, got some samples made, changed them up, got the money together, and made the first order for the first 3,000 pairs, which landed as I left school for the second year, going into the summer. I spent that summer selling these 3,000 pairs, first on Facebook, just messaging friends and family and driving around in my 99 broken down Dodge Dakota doing home delivery. Then I built a website, started selling online. Then I cold called a couple of retailers, got them to sell. And we became the end of the summer, and we sold essentially all 3,000 pairs. And I got an email from a guy saying, hey, I got the product. I love it. I'd love to meet with you. I sit down with him. He says, listen, I think you got something special here. If we get some investment into the company, we improve the product, get a new manufacturer, I think we could build a real business. His name was Kevin Hennessy. I partnered up with him. I said, yeah, let's do it. I went to my last year at college, and he went and got investment in a new manufacturer. And that January, we launched the new and improved summer skates. Super comfortable, sport flex sole, mold to your feet, padding under the laces so it felt like a slipper. They get dirty, you could throw them in the washing machine. A really killer product. And we launched this at the Sorcerer Sports trade show that January, got our first 30 accounts across Canada. Then we got a test in Pro Hockey Life, and then we were in all 14 Pro Hockey Lifes. Then they started selling thousands and thousands of summer skates. Then we built a Shopify store and really dialed in the e-commerce side of it, learning how to do SEO and Facebook ads and drive traffic and increase conversion rates. Then we expanded the product line. We started doing custom team orders. Then we went and got NHLPA license where we had the ability to do any NHL name and number. We had over 300 players available on our website. And then you could do a choose your number where you could pick any number that you wanted. And revenue just continued to grow. Built up a big email list of over 20,000 customers, learned how to do email marketing. Instagram was an emerging platform at that time, so we built a raving fan base of summer skate fans on that. Early on Snapchat, we got a bunch of free attention, continued to drive revenue with that. Go into NHL markets. Look at baby Miles there, eh? Go into NHL markets, started to do NHL teams, got connected with NHL players like Matt Duchene, Brent Burns when he played for Team Canada, Dustin Brown when he won the Cup, Joe Thornton signed his contract, and we just continued to build on it more and more. We got invited to the NHL All-Star Games and NHL Awards where we connected with all those players. And then we moved into the US in the team dealer market by going to a bunch of trade shows across the US and started doing all sports, all custom team logos. We were doing baseball and lacrosse and softball and gymnastics, thousands and thousands of custom team orders. Then we connected with some influencers like the Dude Perfect guys. They got the product, they loved it, which was big. And then next thing you know, you lift your head up and we've sold 500,000 pairs of summer skates. Right, and I was lucky enough that on that ride to be able to sell most of my equity along that journey. And what I really learned in that era was how to leverage the internet, the technology, and tools to drive business results. That was the real skill that got developed in all those different chapters and all those different aspects from online to B2B to going to trade shows is how to leverage the internet to drive business results. So continued that on with another new product called the Big Ball, which was an oversized golf ball, putting training aids. You putt with the big ball, then when you go back to a regular golf ball, the hole feels big. And make more putts, stop three putting, which I used to do, but not anymore. Again, taking everything that I learned from the summer skates journey, we launched this business by crowdfunding, by doing pre-orders of $20,000 in 30 days off a Kickstarter. That got the first order in. Then a producer from Dragon's Den saw the Kickstarter, knew that I was on the show before, invited me to go pitch on Dragon's Den for a second time, got another deal, another amazing experience. Side note, this business is then faced with treacherous headwinds, manufacturing issues, tears. But that's for a whole other time. We battle our way through, we figure it out, and we know that short form video and Facebook and Instagram ads and driving traffic to the website is the profitable way to do it. Get that going, and then now we fully have automated that whole business where it's very light touch and continues to grow month after month. Continue this trend with other businesses, Umbrella Consulting, which was like helping other business owners leverage the internet to drive business results. Savvy Pool Services, opening and closing 300 swimming pools in 60 days every year. And then Neighbor Media, which hopefully many of you know, a content creating and sharing machine that uses videos, pictures, and words to help you communicate to the neighbors you're trying to reach. My current obsession and will be for the foreseeable future. Again, over the last 15 years in these 6 different businesses, it was really learning how to leverage technology, leverage the internet, leverage these tools to drive business results. And I always remember thinking like, okay, this was all built on top of what I would call the mature internet. But I always think of like, wow, how exciting would it have been to be like building in the 2000s when the internet was just emerging. There was so much white space and so much opportunity. How crazy that would have been, but that's too bad. I'll never ever see that kind of technology rise in my lifetime. Well, that was pretty dumb because a couple years ago, this little thing called AI has emerged. I think it came on the scene really when OpenAI released their consumer product, ChatGPT. I was early on it, started using it every single day, watched it improve month after month, started implementing it into my business, into my life, and started to use it more and more, which I'm going to talk to you more about today. But before that, I was thinking, why is everyone so scared, right? Like, all I hear is everyone's so scared of AI and like, it's gonna kill us all. And one, I think everyone just watches the news a little too much, but that's for another thing. Side note, the news isn't there to really inform you anymore. It's there to keep your attention, to sell ads against you so they could stay in business. But I do understand that there is some fear because this has happened time and time and time again when a new technology comes up, right? When I was thinking of the printing press, when the printing press first came out, people were losing their mind. They said, we're all going to become lazy thinkers if we could print the word down. And if we could print the word and distribute it, chaos will ensue. That's what they actually believe. But what actually happened? Literacy exploded, education exploded, millions of jobs created, billions in revenue generated on the long tail of it. Electricity, another one that I found hilarious. When electricity came on the scene, they said, no. Candles inside the house are much safer. We do not want that. Little fires inside my house, Dad, little fires inside my house are much safer than electricity. But really, it built the whole modern world, factories, new industries, millions of jobs created, billions and billions and billions generated. The tractor was another big one in technology shift of it. At this time, like 65% of America worked in farming. So when the tractor came, they said this is going to replace all farmers and society will collapse on itself because no one will have jobs. Again, that isn't what happened. You didn't replace farmers, you enabled them. The whole food industry exploded, new industries were born, millions of jobs, billions in revenue. We go on and on. The internet, the same thing. This was a huge, scary one too. This one's going to take everyone's jobs. This is going to be the one that's going to take everyone's jobs. No one's ever going to leave their house. But now, I want any of you to picture running your business without the internet. Everyone loses their mind, me included, when Rogers and Bell goes down for like 30 minutes. Same with the iPhone, this little gadget here too. Now it's a magic wand in our pocket where I can click a button and a car will appear in 15 minutes, or I can order anything and it will arrive on my doorstep the next day. And here we are with AI, the cycle continues, right? We meet it with fear, but really there's all this opportunity that exists, then growth happens, and then it's a net positive for everyone. Because technology is just giving us leverage, right? And when we have leverage, we're more productive. When we're more productive, there's more return, there's more investment that comes in, then there's a higher return on investment. We create new companies, new jobs appear, value is created, and in the end, billions of dollars will be generated, and we will be better off. Because AI isn't replacing entrepreneurs, it's amplifying. It's not replacing humans, it's amplifying them, right? But I always think, I'm a simple person. I just think of it as a tool. And how can I use this tool to benefit me and my business, again, so I can be more productive. And as well too, like, AI is a big term and it's like a sea of things. I always just try to keep things very, very simple. When they were saying like, oh, we have an expert, Miles, I'm like, I'm not no expert, but I am a practitioner, right? And I think that's what's important, so you can use it today. So how to use AI in your business, a simple framework you can apply this week. Again, AI is a tool. The question is, how will you use it? 3 ways AI gives you leverage. Help you think better, create better, and operate better. Think better. Use AI as your thought partner and strategic advisor. This is probably how I use it the most right now. It's like a think partner that I can go back and forth and flesh out bad ideas and then make them good and then shape them. This is, for me personally, this is where I think I use it the most and why it matters. It's hard to think clearly inside your own business. You get limited perspectives. Decisions take too long and no one to brainstorm with. Many people, they're building businesses by themselves, right? Or small teams. Or even if you have a big team, you don't want to bring a half-baked idea to the table. This is your thought partner to go back and forth with and kind of build out those ideas. Strategic thinking on demand, instant brainstorming, clear decision frameworks, fresh, unbiased perspectives, right? Again, we're like inside of our businesses a lot and we can kind of get biased perspectives where you can have something on the outside kind of looking at it more subjectively and give you that good feedback. So here's the prompt. You go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever LLM, like a large language model that you use, and you say, act as my strategic advisor. I run a media company, HVAC company, insurance company, real estate company, whatever business that you are in, let it know. My current goal is increase revenue by 20%, increase profit by 5%, hire the next 3 people. How do I fire someone? Whatever it is, whatever your goal is, ask me 5 clarifying questions and give me tailored recommendations and next steps. Now, this is the prompt, right? This is the first thing that you put in. You don't just take what it gives you and be like, okay, great, that's it. Go back and forth, have a dialogue with this tool. That's how you're gonna get the most out of it. Create better, number 2. So marketing, content, and communication at 10x the speed. 10x the speed, I think that's light. It's more like 100x the speed, right? Because most businesses aren't bad, they're invisible. You know, with Neighbor Media, we get to meet with tons of business owners, and they're great business people with great products and great services, but no one knows who they are, what they do, and why they should use them, right? This tool will help you be seen. Because that ends up you don't post consistently because content takes too long, blank page paralysis, and marketing feels overwhelming. We can break through all of that using these tools, right? Turn one idea into 10 pieces of content, write me scripts, captions, emails, ads. There's no more starting from scratch. You simply can just input and get something back and then get the ball rolling. And it's professional quality output fast. So here's the prompt. Turn this idea, whatever idea that you have, into 10 social media posts for LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, email, whatever it is for you. It's an expert on that side, right? Like it knows what to talk about. Include the hooks, the captions, the call to actions, and make them on brand, right? And it will get smarter and smarter and learn about you and your business and spit out really good ideas. Another great one on this, I know that me and Lynette love this. Write proposals in minutes, not hours. Write me a proposal with 3 pricing options, good, better, best for X service. Include deliverables, timeline, and outcomes in clear, persuasive language, right? Like sometimes proposals could take half a day, right? Now it takes 30 minutes. Or now you have standardized kind of proposals that you do. You put that in there so it can repeat it. So just think about that productivity that comes from this one simple tool, right? So how much time is saved. Or the ability to give like a junior hire that you have the tools to be able to give the output that you are looking for. And then Canva, another tool that's out there, your on-demand design team. You know, you can turn one post into 10 different formats. You can add captions, resize videos. Everything can be on brand. All these things can create better if you think about like what the cost of like a full marketing team would be, and then what you can get now with these tools that are available. Again, we're talking about leverage and productivity. We can do more with less. That is the core of it. And operate better. I am a terrible operator. One, that's why I partner with great people. But even me, this has helped me tremendously, right? Systems, SOPs, and efficiency. Because business feels heavy without systems. Things live in your head. It's hard to delegate. Onboarding takes forever. No time to document processes. We're just like going in our business. We never get time to like stop and kind of set like the SOPs and the standards for it. This tool makes it so much easier. AI builds systems for you, SOPs, checklists, onboarding docs, playbooks, and templates. Here's the prompt. Create a step-by-step standing operating procedure for how to onboard a new client, run an interview, right? Set up an accounting thing, right? Like whatever repeatable tasks that you have within your business, these tools are gonna make it super, super easy for you to make SOPs for it. Make it simple, clear, and easy for a new hire to follow. You master just these 3 and you're going to be ahead of 95% of people. This is the opportunity to get on it early and just be better than everyone else you're competing with. Help you think better, create better, and operate better. So here is the challenge that I leave with you today. Pick one, right? Maybe you're the visionary of the company, you're setting the big goals, right? You're looking into 2026 of what's next. Help you think better, right? Maybe you're in marketing, advertising, sales, or you need help with that. Help you create better. Or maybe you're in the operational, you want to be more efficient, become more lean, help you operate better. Pick one and use it this week. And I guarantee you won't go back Okay, thank you.